During its meeting last Saturday, the Guam Election Commission discovered it was faced with a major dilemma as to how to place congressional independent candidate Jonathan Diaz on the primary election ballot. According to Executive Director Maria Pangilinan, public law left GEC's hands tied as it was to have both Republican and Democrat candidates on opposite sides of the ballot, leaving independents in limbo. According to Senator Chris Duenas via telephone, this whole issue could have been prevented as he not only tried to introduce an amendment addressing the issue in the election reform bill, but also a standalone measure in Bill 404.
The bill basically can set up a situation whereby individual wishing to run as an independent for elected office would simply have to garner a percentage of signatures of registered voters in order to be placed on a general election ballot, thereby not having to participate in a party primary.
That bill, however, failed to garner enough support to pass. Meanwhile, over the weekend, GEC sent a letter to Diaz informing him of the problem along with Speaker Judy Wampat. After meeting this morning in caucus, she ultimately decided to call for a special session to address the issue, saying the congressional race is the most critical as it's not only a federal position, but that a deadline approaches to send out absentee ballots in time.
We don't want to stay. We want to be able then to have them proceed with the specific, timeline, immediate timeline, so we won't have that problem of any ballots, absentee ballots coming in late.
As we reported on KUAM.com over the weekend, GEC is working with a tight deadline as they must also send out final primary election ballots under the Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act by July 18, or 45 days before the primary election. On session floor this afternoon, Election Reform Chair Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. introduced Bill 488.
What this bill does is give the authority to the Guam Election Commission. If they certify a candidate who is independent, then they can reconfigure the ballot to accommodate for that independent candidate.
He says the language was discussed during the election reform bill, which is waiting for an override vote, and specifically lays out that any qualified candidate, not members of any political party not registered with GEC, for instance the Independent Party, shall be placed on the ballot in 3 or more columns. Bill 488 passed 11-0 with Senators Duenas, Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz, Senator Ben Pangilinan, and Senator Tom Atta excused for being off-island. Minority Leader Frank Blas Jr. says the measure was ultimately a collaborative effort with all senators.
This was an issue that politics did not play part of. We wanted to make sure that every individual had the opportunity to participate in the democratic process.